welcome to a homespun house. I'm really happy to be here talking with you guys, chatting with you guys about knitting, spinning, handcrafts, and just kind of fun stuff that's been going on lately. I've just been really in swap mode, so I kind of want to tell you a little bit about a couple of the swaps and things that I'm in. Not a lot, and then one that I've organized for the group that I think will be a lot of fun, and that as well leads into March's knit along, and I'm very excited about this knit along and about the swap. So Minerva Turkey, this is something you can't even sign up for anymore, so that's kind of a pity. I know I'm talking about it a bit late, but she had a swap in her group where you basically send 3 skeins of 20-gram mini skeins. They're not really mini because they're 20 grams of yarn, and you kind of get paired up with someone around the world, and you send 3 mini skeins, a postcard from where you live, and then just a little extra, whatever you decide that be. So I'm paired up with someone from Iceland, and we've decided to do 6 10-gram mini skeins instead of 3 20, because I don't need 20-gram mini skeins. She's doing the Hexapuff, and I'm of course doing my Cozy Memories blanket. So that will be really fun. We've written maybe 2 letters back and forth, learning a little bit about each other. And she seems really, really neat. So I am pretty excited about that. The other thing that I'm involved in is the Oloops pen pals. So what it is every month you send out 3 new cards to kind of whoever you choose. You have a list of people who are all involved in, it's year-long pen pals, in the pen pals, and you obviously have to choose different people each month. So I've sent mine out for January, and now I'm slowly getting things together for the 3 people who I will send letters to this month. So that's really fun. And then the one that I've set up for our group is called My Favorite Things Swap. And I think this will be really fun, just to kind of share really nice, fun things with each other. So what My Favorite Things Swap is it's exactly as it sounds, our favorite things. So in the swap package, you will include, oh goodness, I wrote it on the thread in Ravelry. If you're not in the Homespun House Ravelry group, join. It's where I post episodes. There's so much chatter in there. It's for all of our knit-alongs. Right now we have our colorwork knit-along going on, so there's some talk and pictures and just excitement going on through there. You can ask me questions through the webpage. You can find out the swap information, of course, which is what I'm talking about. So I think it's 6 mini skeins that we're sending. It could be 5. You and your partner can decide how many you want to do, and they're 6-gram skeins. So of your favorite yarn. So your favorite, obviously, sock weight yarn that you've ever used. You don't even need to use a lot of it. I know sometimes it's hard getting rid of those favorite skeins that you really, really love. It's just 6 grams. Don't worry about it. And you don't have to include a memory if you don't want. That's no pressure that you feel like, oh goodness, I have to write something huge about this. It would be wonderful if with each of your skeins you could send, a little note about what it was for, or a sentence. If not, it's not the reason for this swap. So you send 6 mini skeins of your favorite yarn, and then you send a suite to your partner of your favorite. You're not sending your partner things that they love. You're sending your partner things that you love. So your favorite chocolates, your favorite caramels, your favorite licorice, your favorite toffees, your favorite, some sort of sweet. And of course you're paired with partners who kind of have the same allergies, or people with allergies are swapping with people who have allergies. People who only prefer shipping in America are paired together, and then people who really have no preference are paired together. And then you are swapping your favorite coffee or tea, just a sample. You know, if you're sending tea, I would say, you know, send 3 to 5 bags of tea, of your favorite teas, and or just even one tea you could send if it's really delicious and it's the one that you pick all the time. Your favorite coffee, obviously just a bag of ground coffee is what I would say. You know, just one single serving of ground coffee, and fresh coffee is what I would say. Definitely not something that you just add water to, something that needs to be brewed, just so it's nice, good quality, obviously. I cannot imagine it wouldn't be if it's your favorite. So, and then just something little extra that you adore. It could be stitch markers, a bar of soap, some wool wash, scented tea lights, votive, anything you can really think of. It doesn't even have to be what I've mentioned as far as a little extra, but just sharing wonderful things with people. And it's the first time I've talked about it on the podcast, so I'm looking at my phone because I've pulled up the thread. Signups will close February 15th, so I believe it's not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And then it would be nice if you could have your packages mailed out in the next week. So packages need to be mailed out by Sunday the 22nd. And I'm really looking forward to it. There are already 31 people involved, I believe. I will be involved too, so, but only if there is an odd number of people. We'll see. We will see how that works. But I'm really looking forward to it. Maybe I'll even swap with 2 people if there's an even number, because I really want to be involved. So I'm pretty sure I will end up swapping no matter what. So that's my favorite thing swap. And then in March, I would like to go ahead and do my favorite things knit along. So what that means is knit with your most favorite color of yarn, your favorite skein of yarn, your favorite dyer, your favorite pattern, anything, as long as you can tie into how it is your favorite. And I think that will be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to that. I have no idea what I will do, but it will be something good, and I definitely will be involved because I felt really bad not being involved this time in the color work knit along. I am sure sometime this month I will be picking up my shawl design, which is color work. It's nothing that I can share with you until it's finished. So I will kind of be participating in that, but behind the scenes, which stinks a little bit. At the end of this episode, I will be answering a few questions from the Now It's Time to Ask thread on Ravelry. So I talked about my Cozy Memories blanket a little bit. I can talk about it a little bit more now because I have knit some on it. I haven't gone crazy like I did last week and the week before, but Kristen from Yarngasm and she has Wool and Vine yarns as well, we did a swap. It wasn't, I guess I wouldn't even say it was a swap. It was more of just, you could call it a swap, but we were just kind of friends sending each other a fun package. Not really exactly knowing what was inside. So she sent me, this I did know because I really, really wanted a skein of this. And this is in her blitzed base. It is her Jilted Rose colorway. It's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And this I love because it is gold stellina. I've never really knit anything. I've never knit anything with gold stellina except for one square that's in my blanket that she sent me as well. Not a skein of hers, but it's Jinx yarn. And I'll show you that in just a minute. So she sent me this gorgeous skein of yarn. It's these mauvey, it's really just natural tones of yarn. These mauve tones and rose colored, natural creams and pinks. It's so pretty. I have no idea what I will make with this, but I know it will be something epic and amazing and beautiful. I really love her labels, how completely basic they are, but so nice. I really like the simplicity of them. So there is that skein of yarn. And then she sent me, I'm drinking this right now. I'm drinking the last one. She sent me 2 bags of this Egyptian licorice tea from Yogi. It is delicious, and I love licorice. I adore black licorice. It's something that is really common here. Children eat black licorice. I feel like people here in Germany have way more of a taste for it than Americans I know anyway, especially children, because it is a common gummy for children to eat. So yeah, I've really been enjoying that. I had the last one immediately when I opened it, and then I thought today, okay, I'm going to enjoy the second cup today. It is a I think it's very sweet tea. So while it says to steep 5 to 10 minutes, I would definitely not steep it any longer than 5 minutes. Otherwise, for me personally, it is way too sweet. The first cup that I made, I think I steeped for maybe 8 to 10 minutes. And I ended up having to pour a lot of extra water on it and take the tea bag out because it was way too sweet. And then it was really delicious. So this bag I only steeped for 5 minutes, and it's perfect. I really love it. You definitely need no sweetener, no milk, nothing. It's amazing as it is. So if you like licorice, if you like tea, I could not recommend this anymore. And then she sent some suckers along for Elodie, which Elodie loved. There's one left. She sent 3 of them. And the one that is left is green apple, which is my favorite. I love green apple flavored, like sour gummies. Oh my goodness, that's my favorite of all time. And then she sent me some rooibos tea, which I've never drank this kind of tea. I know it's a very, very, very common one, but I've never drank it, so I'm curious to see how that one is. I will try it. So then I have 3 of the mini skeins left. I don't even remember how many she sent me. I think she sent me 8. And I'm saving this one for last. This is her fairy hair. And that's the next skein that I want from her, because you guys, let me tell you, this is out of this world gorgeous. So that is the way that that one looks. And that's on the same exact base with that gold stellina. Oh, I love that. This, I would have no doubt, would be made into a shawl. I think it would make a gorgeous featherweight. I would love enough for a featherweight. Oh, wouldn't that be gorgeous in a featherweight? I think that needs to become a featherweight at some time. So here are the skeins that I used. Yeah, so she definitely sent me 8 because I have made 5. So she sent me this one, and it wasn't enough, so I ended up having to, you can see here it's a different skein right here. I just had a little mini left over from something else, and I used basically all of it in this little piece. And then this is the Jinx yarn Mardi Gras colorway, I believe. That was really fun to knit with. I love this yellow. And then here, I think this is Socks That Rock in the Mad Hatter colorway. Again, I ended up having to add a little square here because I ran out, which is completely fine. You can't even really tell. I picked, I think, colors that meshed somewhat well with them. This was so much fun. This is her MCN, I believe, Holly Jolly colorway. I really love it. It was so soft to knit with, really fun, Christmassy, but not overly Christmassy. I think it could be used for a lot of different things. And then I knit this one. And yeah, the blanket is very, very much so growing. Every time I do a row, I sew the ends in, and I am due for sewing some ends in. This is one of my favorite rows. Pink is my favorite color, and I got into a crazy pink phase here of just doing all the things pink. That was last week. And I love that row of pinks. And I love the yarn from Kristen. I am so happy that she decided to share that with me and share those mini skeins. And then she sent me an adorable, I was so shocked when I saw this. I was really, really excited, and it was such a sweet gesture. She made something for our little girl. It's the first gift that we've received, and it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. It will definitely fit a newborn baby as a dress. So she will wear this as a dress right away when she's born. It will definitely fit. And she has these pretty little vintage looking buttons here. And the colorway is just absolutely stunning. It's really pretty and jewel toned. And it's nice because this sort of a thing is so nice for babies because they really grow. I really like kind of tunic style clothing for babies, and I think that's how this one is. It's nice with the buttons because the neck isn't massive, and the sleeves are still big enough that you can see it will fit a child as it's getting older. First as a dress and then turning into a vest. So I think that's really, really pretty. And this is an MCN base, which is so perfect for having up against a baby's skin, or even anyone's skin, of course. I love MCN. So that was so much fun. That was really, really exciting to open and receive and just be excited about. Kristen she's so awesome. We've been talking almost every single day, and I really enjoy her. She has such a fantastic podcast. She's just a really, really cool, genuine person. I have been sock knitting crazy, let me tell you. And I will show you what I've been knitting on sock-wise. So I finished these socks. Here they are. I had a lot of fun knitting on them. I did the contrast heel and toe, and I think that they turned out really, really sweet. These have been blocked and they're tied together. I do that with all of my socks until I wear them, and the funny thing is the reason I do this is because my grandma has always done this. She's always tied her socks together immediately upon finishing them. And because I grew up seeing my grandma knitting socks all of the time, it's just kind of the way that I assume that you finish off your pair of socks. So I put all of my socks into my gift basket basically until I decide to wear them, because if they're sitting in my drawer and they're getting no use for a month or two, then that means that I'm not very excited about those socks. And I haven't worn them, but I love these. I absolutely love this colorway. And but they will go into my gift drawer until I decide that I want to wear them. So then the next thing that I cast on was a pair of tube socks for Elodie. Elodie has been asking and asking for a pair of socks. And as I mentioned, I felt a little bit bad that she didn't have any, you know, socks of her own. She has a couple of pair, but they're a little bit small. The heel kind of sits at the bottom of her heel, and she wears them from time to time if we're going outside, but I thought she needs a pair of socks that really fit her, are comfy, and aren't sliding down. So I had been thinking about it, and I thought I should just make a pair of tube socks. I think that they will, I've heard really, really good things about them, but I was a little bit skeptical about how comfy that would be without a heel, because I don't know if I would want to wear a pair of socks without a heel. But I decided I'm going to go for it. She is growing and growing. Her feet are growing all the time. And I want to make her something that she can wear, you know, this winter and in the fall. So I had her pick of all of my skeins of yarn, any color that she wanted, and she chose this. So this is the tube sock. I knit it long enough, and it is the same exact colorway. It's way more heathered, and it's a lot more pastel-y. This is definitely more of a bold, deep, rich colorway than the drops, but it's the same exact. It's different shades of pink, brown, and gray. And Elodie's never even seen the socks. She hasn't seen Emma since her mom has knit them. So it's funny that she picked the same exact colorway just from, this is a Patton's Croy, their rag sock. I think it's their rag sock, I can't remember. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, so I do have two of these. I made them matching, which I used to never really care about, but with the socks I just knit, with these ones, you can see that they both match. So I think I have enough yarn of this for maybe one or two, probably two squares on my Cozy Memories blanket. So these fit perfect. They don't look any different than any socks that have a heel. I think I will definitely be making her tube socks for quite a while because they don't look awkward at all. I wondered if they would look loose in parts or the arch would fit strangely, like I said. I even thought, okay, come on, a heel doesn't really take that long. The Fish Lips Kiss heel is one that now I've completely got under my belt. I don't even have to think about it. It's not even a pain to knit anymore, which is fantastic. But then I thought, you know what, no, she's growing too fast. I don't want to knit her 5,000 pair of socks all the time. And she really just needs one pair of sock, I think, one or two for each season, because she's just wearing them on really cold days over her tights. She wears tights all the time. It's all she wants to wear now, tights and dresses. You cannot really get her in a pair of pants. And yeah, so it's not like they're even up against her feet. She's not wearing them all the time. I think Berlin, I think Berliners would maybe tell you different, but I think Berlin has a very mild, very, very mild winter. So it's not necessary at all to be completely warm wearing wool socks all the time. So I'm happy to have these finished. They were fun. It was a nice project for a 50-gram ball of yarn. I can definitely see using my leftover little skeins of yarn from a pair of socks that I've knit for making tube socks, because these were so fast. You have no idea. I knit these on 2.5mm double points because those are my absolute favorite. Carbons, of course, by Knit Pro. So you guys, that's not it for my socks. So then I went ahead and I was just sock crazy, and I thought, you know what, I want to keep working on socks. I have this goal of having, 12 socks knit for 2015. And so then I thought, I'm going to finish my Spin Monkey socks, and I did. I'll put these on a sock blocker because these ones have not been blocked yet. So these ones are really long. I don't know why I knit the cuff so long on these, because I have found that I don't like my cuffs long at all, really. So I like them like the first pair that I showed you, which is still long. It goes up to the calf. But these ones are out of this world long. I only have this much yarn left, which I think is a joke. I usually have 40 grams of yarn left, I would say. So this yarn is so soft. It's her normal sock base. It's, I think, a 75-25 merino nylon. It feels like an MCN. Her sock base is gorgeous, and the dyeing of this is so fantastic. It's the only skein of Spin Monkeys that I have and own and have ever knit with, but because it's dragged on so long, I realize that I adore it. I really, really adore it. I would be happy to knit more socks in this yarn. It's soft, but it's still really, really durable feeling, and I don't think that this will be a pair that easily gets holes. You can see I knit this a long time ago because it has the heel flap. So there's one, there's two, I have two of them. And this was a bit of a venture of knitting. So you guys know that I finished the first one. I finished the first one last week and made it longer, and it was perfect. So Elodie was taking a bath the other night, and I was sitting on the floor. We were talking. She was drawing me pictures, and I was saying what they were, and I was knitting, you know, on socks because I don't even have to look at them. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I grabbed out a sock, and I, for some reason, was thinking that I needed to rip out the toe. So I completely ripped out the toe, and I started knitting and knitting and knitting. And then I looked down and I thought, oh my goodness, this looks really, really long. Like almost so long that it would fit Robert. It's too narrow, but it looks almost long enough for Robert's foot. Then I looked in my bag and I took out the other sock. And the sock that was in my bag was the sock that hadn't been knit yet. You all know what that means. It means that I ripped out the sock that was finished and basically then added length onto it. So then I ripped it out as much as I had knit, and then obviously closed up the foot, the toe again. So I knit the same toe twice. Then obviously I continued to knit on the other one that was way too short, finished it off, closed up the toe, and I'm over the moon happy with these. In fact, I'm going to put them on right now because it is early in the morning. I have a warm sweater on, but I have leggings on, and the window is wide open because I love fresh air. I really, really love fresh air, and as long as I have something warm to drink and am dressed warm, I like to have my window open. So those are so cozy. I love them. I really, really love them, and the color is gorgeous. So I'm very happy with those. As you can see, I found my sock blockers. I completely cleaned my entire craft shelf. It's one of those IKEA, I think it has maybe 25 squares in it. I took everything off of it, and there's a lot of stuff on there, all craft stuff, sewing, knitting, cross stitch, it's there. And completely dusted all of the shelves, reorganized everything. It looks gorgeous now. It looks so wonderful. It's so inspiring going into the bedroom and seeing all of my amazing supplies. So this behind me is actually my work desk. I do not have, during normal time, obviously I'm podcasting, so I have things down on my desk that I'm showing you, but I don't have anything else here that I'm not using for a homespun house. So none of my craft stuff is kept here. That's all kept in the room. So I found those when I was cleaning. And so those are the socks that I've knit on. I guess I can talk about what yarn I'm going to cast on next for my socks. So because I was inspired by the yarn that Kristen sent me, the Jilted Rose, and then the Jinx yarns that I knit up, I thought I really want to knit with some more Stellina yarn. So last year, I believe in January or February, we were finishing up a shawl knit along. And I knit the Whipper wool out of Linné yarn. I knit it out of the Evil Ocean colorway. And this is a Stellina based yarn with silver Stellina. And then I knit it out of, oh my goodness, I would say it's called Coral. Just a really beautiful color. And so I used up all of that, the Coral colorway. I used it up in the shawl, and then I used up the rest in the Blanket of Awesomeness blanket that I knit for our future baby. I can't believe I'm in the 3rd trimester now, by the way. It is just insane. And so I thought, you know what? I love this yarn. The only thing, I love it, but I don't like it at the same time, which is kind of funny. I'm not the hugest fan of this bright turquoise. I think it's a little bit awkward. But it's so amazing to knit with. And I think it will do nicely as socks. I have enough. I think I have 85 grams left of it. I just weighed it. I don't remember. So I will cast these on as my next pair of socks. And I'm excited about that. I am very, very excited. While on the topic of sock knitting, I always knit my socks the same, obviously unless I'm doing a texture, but as far as cast on, heel technique generally now has always been the Fish Lips Kiss heel. But the Spin Monkeys socks that I was knitting, I had been knitting on a Carbon's circular needle, and I was knitting them in double loop or magic loop. I know that I have been a huge Carbon's candidate or Knit Pro candidate in general, but I have to say I am not a fan at all of their circular needle. And I didn't know if I had my stitches too tight on the needle or what was going on, but I tried and tried and tried to knit these socks on this circular needle in the magic loop method. And the join between the cable and the needles, my yarn was always sticking, and I had to lift up every stitch, and it was making my knitting time quadruple. It was taking so much time to knit. So I thought, you know what? I'm not even going to knit these until I finish my current socks that were on the needle. And I thought I'm just going to use the double points for those and pop them on these, because I can't knit these anymore on the circular needle. It's taking me way too long. It's not enjoyable at all. I imagine that it's different. I love my interchangeable circulars. Those have no problem with the join at all. Those are absolutely fantastic. They are my favorite circulars. But the ones that are already joined, especially in that small size, I don't like at all. I love my 2.5 circular ones. Those aren't interchangeable, they're just normal ones, but they're 2mm needle. I use those for my Bird of Happiness. I'm using those right now for my Pepita that I'm knitting by Martina Behm. I'll show you that in just a minute. But I think kind of once the needle gets a little bit bigger than the cable, it is sticking there. And I've heard a lot of talk about that as well, that a lot of people with their Cubics or their Nova have had a problem with that as well. But I imagine once you get past a certain size gap, maybe once you get up to the 5mm needle, maybe where your loops of knit stitches or purl stitches are already quite a bit bigger, maybe that's not a problem. I don't know. But I just had a problem with the 2.5, and I will not use that again for my sock knitting. I love the double points. I love my 2mm circular needle from them, and I love my interchangeables. But I just wanted to say that for those of you who maybe we're going to go out and buy a huge set of their standard circulars. Maybe think about the interchangeables, or find a friend who has some to try out first. So in my project bag, my favorite project bag ever, of course, in the Homespun house, made by me, I received a fantastic package from Martha of Tuft Woolens. And I feel like receiving a package from Martha is like receiving a little package of relaxation, and I just love her scents. So she sent me this hand and body balm in vanilla almond colorway. And on the back it says hand and cuticle balm. Rub a small amount onto hands and cuticles to soften and smooth. Contains beeswax, coconut oil, cocoa butter, lanolin, and essential oils. So she has a shop called Tuft Woolens on Etsy, and I've been using her products for quite a long time. I've talked about her sock soaps a lot, which she sent me some more of, and all of these I have tried except for Russian flower. I have vanilla almond, Russian flower, lavender, royal alpiary, and then the orange and ginger. So I'm curious about the Russian flower. It smells really nice. But, so back to this. I hold it with my hand, and then I rub it on the tops of my hands like this. And then a little bit on my palms. And this is something, I wouldn't even say it's oily, but it does kind of leave a teeny bit of a coating on your hands. Not at all. It's something that soaks in very quickly. I wouldn't want to put it on and then immediately knit, but 2-3 minutes, you won't be able to feel anything. And the smell is amazing. I am someone who does not like vanilla at all. Which doesn't even make sense, because now I'm about to say that the vanilla that she uses, and maybe it's the almond, that they just pair together perfectly, but the vanilla almond is a smell that I really love. I know that she said that it's one of her most popular, and I just think it's lovely. My favorites from her, I think I love the Royal Alpiary. I think that one smells really wonderful. It's kind of more manly, more musky. I love Refresh because I always like the energizing peppermint. Lavender is always amazing. And I love these. She has such wonderful packaging, and these are just samples. It's just a sample of different soaps which last forever. My last package from her, with sock samples as well, I think there were 5 of them in there, or I've had 6. And then I've had a bath wash as well, which we loved. We used that for 8OD. And lasted half of a year, I would say. A really, really long time. So they're fantastic. I leave the soap in my project bag, so my yarn smells amazing, my project smells amazing, and then I go ahead and block my project or soak it with that soap. Because it just makes it so soft, and it smells. It really leaves your product, that sounds so terrible. It really leaves your knitted item smelling wonderful. And I don't rinse it. I just put it on. I kind of rub it lightly on my sock, my anything. And that's it. Then I kind of let it soak for 10-30 minutes, and then I roll it up in a towel and hang it on the heater or whatever it is that I'm blocking. So the last and final thing that I've been knitting is in Catching Fireflies project bag. And that is my Pepita by Martina Behm. And I have not, I've knit a bit on this. I mean, so this is the one that I'm using on my 2mm carbons, which I love. I love these. I have no problem with the join whatsoever. And I have my little apple progress keeper that I sell in my shop. All different kinds of progress keepers, and I'll be having new ones coming in soon. And I've knit this much since last time. So there are almost 200 stitches on the needle, so it's a good enough amount of progress on, I think it's a size 0 in American needles. And I'm having a lot of fun. And this is Wollmeise. I couldn't remember last time. I could not remember at all what it's called. So, the colorway is Am Kalten Polar, and it's 100% superwash merino, 150 grams. And it feels so cottony. I know I've said this when I was knitting. I was knitting a Grace pullover by Jane Richmond at one time, which I've completely ripped out, and it feels cottony to me. I don't understand why people are so crazy about Wollmeise, but I've heard that once I wash it, I will love it. So I have done some spinning on my fuzzlings from Fondant Fiber. I finished this one. Aren't these fuzzlings massive? I mean, look at that skein of yarn that this produced. So last week I finished a blue one. This week I finished this green one with the stellina. I love spinning stellina. This one has the gold in it. And Dani from the Little Bobbins podcast is putting hers in a jar on the table, which I said I could never do. And someone said that I should put it into a little cookie jar and put it on my table. But I put it in this really pretty glass. It's kind of a stand. And I have quite a bit of mini skeins in there that I've spun, not all fuzzlings. And it's sitting on my shelf in the bedroom with all of my gorgeous, inspiring craft supplies. So I can see it all the time, and that was such a good idea. Thank you for recommending that to me. These would have been hidden away in a box or just kind of sad. So after I finished that one, I decided to, of course, start a new one because I would love to spin one fuzzling and have it plied each week. So I have made all of my fuzzlings into these teeny tiny little tribbles, and these are all of my favorite colors. The mauve, the pink, the rose, just stunning. Purple, which isn't my favorite color, but I love it. I love how these, so I have quite a bit of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 10, including the ones in my hand. And this is what I've spun so far. I have so much fun spinning these, and my favorite part is plying. I love plying and seeing how they're coming together, and then I love, of course, to skein it up in the end. So this is a lot of fun. They're coming out as sport weight, both of my skeins, and these will be hard to knit into. I thought that I would create them and have them as birds of happiness, or I do not think I will put them as squares on my blanket. I feel like some things are too special for the blanket, which kind of doesn't make sense because the blanket is kind of the epitome of special. But I kind of almost feel like some things are too special for the blanket. And I think that may be one of those things that is too special. So that's all the knitting and spinning that I've done. I have got some new products up in the shop, some really exciting things. I have earrings. So I have these wooden carved earrings, which I've sanded, and then I've added a nice wooden glossy coat to them. And then I have these really cute ones. So it's a teacup and then a teapot. I love those. The ones I'm wearing have kitties on them. And then I have these really pretty ones with the birds. And they're the perfect size, I think. I really, really love them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be offering them. And then I have new brooches. So I have these ones, which have always been for sale in the shop. A deer, a sheep, the tree with the bird, a kitty cat, because I love all things kitty cat lately. Super sweet. And then I think this one is so cool. So it's just a little conversation bubble and it says hello on there. I think that's one that I should wear. Okay. I have this cloud. I like it that it's kind of 3D. A teacup, of course, because how can Molly not have a teacup in her shop? A little birdie. And a birdhouse with a bird and a heart. So I love all of those. I really, really love brooches. I like to wear them on my cardigans. I love to put them on my project bags. I just think they add such a nice touch and personal touch to anything. I mean, great conversation starters. If you're out somewhere, you have a teacup, a bird, a sheep. I mean, knitters will find you if you're wearing that. A cat. It's just, I think they're really nice. It's just such a personal statement kind of that says something about yourself and just kind of a way to show what you love. I just think they're so much fun. And like I said, I really love wearing them. I have accessory pouches up in the shop. I have the Tiny Village, this one. These are such a nice size. I think they're quite large for accessory pouches. I love that fabric. And here. So I have some of the sock / shawl pouches as well. That fabric is so cool. All of these are, or else I wouldn't have chosen them. And then I love that one, the nature one. So, so, so pretty with all of the little faces on there. Then I have this one, the bunnies, cozy hands, falling leaves, catching fireflies, which you've seen, and then time for tea, Mr. Bear, the wiener dogs in sweaters, and then I have the bunnies in bunny costumes. Someone called them beetles. Maybe I'm completely wrong. And then of course I have the meow kitty cat. The naughty, sinister looking kitty cat, I think. So I have a lot of bags going up in the shop today. A lot more ones that you haven't seen in this pile. Just finishing up sewing them. And yeah, I've been busy this week. So I want to mention this. I was going to just do it last week when I was cleaning out my craft shelving unit. But I have so much stuff that I am just going to kind of be getting rid of. So I will post a thread in Ravelry, when will we say? How about Monday? Monday, I will post a thread and it will just have pictures. And whoever claims whatever is in that picture first will get these things. All you have to do is pay for shipping, and that's it. So these things will just be given for free. And it's just yarn. It's none of it is indie dyed yarn. It's just kind of some yarn, some fiber, a lot of sewing stuff, a lot of vintage magazines, some new magazines, some sewing things, just things that I don't need to have around. I know I'm not going to use them, and so I really want to share them with you. So you just have to claim it right underneath, and I will leave the pictures and the threads there until I've received the money for the PayPal, and then I will send those out accordingly when I receive money for shipping. So that is exciting. I have quite a bit of stuff. And I'm just telling you that it's on Monday, so some people don't feel left out of like, hey, I didn't even hear about it, although I know some of you won't because you don't watch the podcast immediately. So yeah, that's kind of the last thing that I wanted to mention. I almost forgot to answer some questions from some of you guys. So let's go ahead and answer some questions. All right, so let's go into the now is a time to ask thread and see what I need to answer. Okay, so the last question that I answered was from Tanya Marie. So now I have from Jordan Dane 9698. So, do you have a favorite craft, one that you would choose over any others if it came to such a situation? Knitting. Definitely knitting. Knitting is the one that I go for over everything. It's the one that I do for relaxation. It's the one that I love. It's the first craft that I ever really learned and fell in love with, and I love to knit. So, All That Cake Knit asks, how did you learn to speak German, and do you speak any other languages or want to learn? So when I first moved to Germany, I did not speak any German. I kind of just knew hello. That was really it. I didn't even know how to say my name is. I didn't know anything. And I just kind of fell into it. I came here as an au pair, like I've mentioned, so I didn't even need to know German. They wanted me to speak solely English with their children because they wanted them to learn German or English, but as an au pair, I didn't just want to be here working and then going to school to learn German, even though I was in Germany. I definitely wanted to learn German, and I had, you know, the basic skills of I would like to buy this, I would like to buy that, please, thank you, my name is, how are you? Just really, really easy basic skills. I could definitely get by. And being in Berlin, you don't really have to know a lot of German. I think it's kind of rude if you just assume that the person can speak English now. But yeah, at the time I was only here for a short while, and I really wanted to soak up the experience and be out doing things in Berlin rather than inside working and inside in a course. So the first time I was here, I learned a little bit of German. I went to my classes every now and then. Yeah. The second time that I came, I moved to a city, and I was with Robert, and none of his friends really spoke German or English, and the city that he lives in isn't a huge English-speaking city, and his family speaks no English except for his sister, and she would have never spoken English with me. So I had to learn it because we would spend time with his friends, we would go out with his friends, and I just felt stupid. I felt stupid sitting there and having them have conversations and me just, you know, sitting kind of as a a statue watching them, and they were having fun, and I couldn't contribute to the conversation at all. It made me feel really dumb. It made me feel like I looked unintelligent. It made me just kind of feel insecure about not being able to participate at all, and just kind of like, why am I here if I can't even really hang out with you guys? So that was a really, really big motivation to learn German. So then I spent a lot of my free time while Robert was working, because I wasn't an au pair at that time, learning German. And I had a German course every single day, which I went to most of the time. Sometimes I skipped to do something with a friend, or just to relax and do whatever. But I mostly learned it by really, really just being here and being involved with people and having to talk with them and learning from them. And I was thinking about this yesterday. It's funny because when I hear certain German words, people's faces pop up in my mind, and I can remember where we were when I learned this word and what they said about it. It's just crazy. So I learned it by having to learn it, kind of. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to move overseas? I would say just be completely open-minded. There's no need to fear anything. I didn't know anyone when I came over here. I didn't know the language. I knew, sure, somewhat about Berlin, but I think it's the best to go and just fully immerse yourself in it and be open to going out by yourself and doing things by yourself and meeting new people and not being afraid and trying not to be shy. And nobody knows you here, so you can be exactly what you want as you want and feel comfortable with that. How do you keep your skin looking so wonderful? Oh my goodness. I don't even know what I would say to this, because my skin is terrible right now in my pregnancy. It is the driest it has ever been in my life, and I don't really do anything to it. I used to moisturize it, but now moisturizing it has made my skin more dry, so I do nothing to it. I haven't been touching it, and it has slowly been getting better and better. So do you have or want any tattoos? I have had a lot of piercings. I've had my navel, my tongue, my lip, my septum. I still have that pierced, and I would love to have a piercing in there, but I have not had time to go and get one. I have a bigger piercing, but that's not my style anymore. My nose, obviously my ears, and some more. And tattoos. I have a tattoo on my ribs. It is a big star, and I think I got it maybe when I was 20 or 19. I was so determined to get sleeves of tattoos, actually, when I first moved here, and I really thought that I would get them. I had plans for them, and I'm really happy that I did not end up going and getting sleeves of tattoos, because that's not my style at all anymore. It was definitely a phase that I was going through, and I would have loved it at the time, but now it doesn't fit me at all. And so no, I don't have the want to get any more tattoos. I think that this episode is already really long. So I will stop answering questions now. Last time I asked if you wanted a full episode of me answering questions, and I didn't get too many responses, so I don't really think people care so much. So I guess I will just continue answering questions at the end of each episode. But if you do want those just monthly videos where I have one video that I'm answering questions from the thread, just an hour worth of me talking basically about nothing to do with knitting, I will do that. But for now on, I will just go ahead and have some answers at the end. I hope that all of you have a wonderful week. I think I'm going to have to go and brew some more water for my tea, because I bet it's cold now. And I'm going to close the window because it's really cold. Kira's sniffing around. She wants my attention. I'm gonna get to work because I have a bit of work to do. I hope I have a lot of knitting for you guys next week. The knitting bug is always there. It's crazy. I want to, I'm excited to cast on my socks. It's crazy. The sock knitting bug has just completely taken over, and you guys knit what you love. Have a fantastic week, and I will see all of you next week.